Hey, yo, what's up, guys? This is Damnation-n-Hellfire, and I'm with Ross Crow and the player formerly known as Lad. You didn't think I caught that in the pre-show, did you? And this is going to be our normal deal, guys. We're not going to have slides talking about the raid prizes. We're not going to have, we're not going to be discussing all the news that's going on. Basically, I just want to take some time and talk about what has happened leading up to, going right before, and going into, and since this raid has started. That, in my personal opinion, has made this probably one of the worst raids that has occurred in this game in a very long time. So I don't know. Where do we want to start? I know the first thing that caught my attention, like before all the other really bad shit happened that we'll get into later, was looking over the prize list. When I saw charge armors were not only being limited to 5, but they were being put in the lock store. Now, unless I'm mistaken, didn't we have a huge conversation about this exact same thing several months ago when they had been putting charged armors in the lock store? And they even came out and said, that was a bad idea. We're taking them out of the lock store, we're putting them in the regular store, and we're going to up the limit. Now, am I making shit up, or did that actually happen?
That happened.
That happened.
So, why would we go back to the way it is now? I mean, quite honestly, dude, I've met Alzheimer's patients that have a longer memory than what these guys do. As far as what is a bad idea and what is a good idea.
Well, it's not just more. It's more than even a bad idea. In all honesty, it's hampering the progression of lower players. So actually, you're ending the progression of lower players. It's not possible for the lower player to get the required charged armors because they're locked. Now they can't score enough points to unlock them. That's not possible. I mean, it's not feasible. It's just. And if you even were to have somebody prep, that's not even financially sound either for you to even do that. So to lock that is cutting off the growing player intentionally. So I don't know why they would do it again. So they didn't do it once; they did it again. So they're choosing to do it.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Let's go first off. Let's get to this basis. This was not an accident. This was not them forgetting what they said earlier. This was something that Kickside did intentionally.
Yes.
There's no accident involved here, and there's no benefit of the doubt. Oh, they forgot, or oh, somebody else was in there. They knew what they did. They always know what they did. I've given up giving them the benefit of any doubt.
Well, wait. I would beg to differ. They don't always know what they did. Otherwise, let me finish. Otherwise, Targets wouldn't have been paying out 500 million points for the first hour.
Yeah. Well, there is that. Let me rephrase. When there is something that doesn't require them to be technically competent and it changes, it was changed on purpose. Okay. If it requires technical competence, they've proven that they can't always get that right.
I guess the other thing that immediately I saw that really kind of soured me was the prize payouts and the bonuses for the set completion. We had kind of gone through this the first time with the skirmish raid. And we said about how this, giving that many different points for the bonus for the whales who coined both fleets, who are the people who actually need the bonuses the least, was ridiculous. And by the time they got around to the second and the third raids of that cycle, they had managed to scale it back to a very reasonable proportion that you didn't feel like you were totally shafted points wise if you didn't have both fleets. And now here we come again, the very first raid of 2018. And we have gone back to that old original scenario that everybody said they didn't like and that they had initially backed off on. But now it's back.
You know, I asked about this, and what I was told was that, oh, it doesn't really affect players that only have one fleet. You're not going to be required to do any more seat time than you otherwise would have. Well, yeah, except for the fact we've been bitching about the fact that there's way too much seat time involved. So that you give us a solution, which is the completion bonus. But big news. We've had that blueprint for what now? 10 days, tops? Maybe 12? Truth of the matter is I haven't even started the first Hydra yet. And frankly, with the way things are going in this raid, I may not. This may be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I know, speaking personally from a lot of people that I know on a personal level and a lot of people that I talk to on a regular basis, there are lots of them who were kind of on the border on whether they were going to continue to play or not. And this raid was going to dictate what side of the fence that they fell on. At this point, it's not a good side of the fence that they're falling on. And I'll be honest, for the past year, I've been that guy who, when friends of mine would talk to me about they're going to quit playing, I would be that guy who would talk them off the ledge, dude. I'm not going to be that guy anymore, because I'm at the point right now where I am myself seriously considering being done with this game.
Well, I'll give you a little bit from my perspective. Over the past 2 weeks, I went out and dug my Wii out of storage and took a game called Animal Crossing City Folk, which is basically Farmville for Wii. Copyright 2008. It's a 10-year-old game. And I have literally spent more time playing Animal Crossing in the past 2 weeks than I have spent playing Battle Pirates.
I'm
playing Farmville from before there was a Farmville.
I discovered a new Facebook game called Crusaders of Light. It's basically World of Warcraft on Facebook. I've been playing that way more than I've been playing BP the past week and a half. Like, I actually totally missed out on doing my Ironclad and Skyfire raids because the time came and went before I even noticed and they were gone. And I didn't even care.
And I chose not to do the Ironclad and Skyfire TLCs. And frankly, I think it's disingenuous of Kixeye to put the particular, not so much the Skyfire, but to put the Ironclad TLC out there as a potential solution to the upcoming raid, because the points for everything are so high, you can't get by unless you can do A sets or S sets. And with Ironclads, you'll be lucky to do C sets. You'll grind the whole weekend, and you won't even sniff a charged armor, because obviously they're locked now.
Yeah. I'm looking at this like, I've been on that cusp myself for a long time, quite a long time. My friends are actually, I'm retired, man, so I use this to fill in a lot of my time. My friends I talk to on chats, the voice chat systems, and we play the game. Sometimes I just sit with the game on and there's no activity in the game and we're still here. So I myself I would think that I will continue probably as long as I can, but I consider myself to be a rather large coiner, and I just am not having the fun for the value. And so I'll continue on, but I won't. I won't pay them. I won't pay for it. I mean, I like the game. I love the people. I even enjoy some of the employees and things. It's just they're intentionally going in the wrong direction. It's intentional. We've given it. 2017 was a poor year for BP. I think that people actually let them know the whole year on their thoughts and ideas on what to change. Continually, we saw we are listening, but we did this. Well, so now we know this is intentional. This is actually a pixel game. All they have to do to make the community happy is throw us a couple pixels. Honest, throw us a couple pixels here and there. Throw us a bone. They intentionally choose not to. I think they're actually just milking the coiners that are left. There's no return. There's no joining new players. There's no new ads on Facebook or other things. Should join BP. They're just gonna milk us till we're gone. But I'm hanging in there.
I know. Well, let's go into a couple of other things before they that really have gone towards making this raid a total disaster, in my opinion. Before I get into some of the things I want to say. So let's talk about the bug for the first hour that was out there, that people were hitting Hydra targets and getting like 500 million points for doing one target. Do we want to talk about that for a little bit?
578 for one hit.
Allegedly, supposedly, not just fixed, but they're going to extract those ill-gotten gains from the players who got them.
Yes, I did see totals on the leaderboard go down by a whole lot, but it fascinates me how quick they were all over that and wanted to fix that, but yet other issues that have been brought up about the raid, not hardly a word been said about. So that
well. It was
and I don't like to be that tinfoil hat guy, but
can I just go back to the statement I made earlier? That it wasn't; those things are not accidents.
Can I finish my statement?
Oh, hell no.
Well, apparently not. But I don't like to be one of those tinfoil hat guys. But when you literally see this shit happening in front of your eyes, it's not tinfoil hat at that point in time. So. Yeah, I don't know.
Like I said earlier, it's not an accident. These are not mistakes. The 578 million was a mistake. You could tell because they fixed it. The other stuff is intended that way. And when they intend it that way, there's no fixing it because it's not broken. It's what they intended.
Do we want to talk about what the real big kicker for me was, though, and the change to the charged armors mere hours before the raid goes live? So they tried to write it off as, oh, well, we weren't aware that it was performing this well and blah, blah, blah. Okay, there was several rounds of internal testing. There was 2 closed preview servers, and you didn't notice that it was quote-unquote overperforming until mere hours before the raid. That tells me one thing, that whoever's monitoring that is totally incompetent at their job. Period. I knew within the first 5 minutes that I was in the first closed test server that you only needed 1 piece of ballistic charged armor because it was negating all of the ballistic damage that was in the target. I knew that. At my first test, 5 minutes in, I don't know a goddamn thing about programming, and I could tell that. And you're telling me that 19 rounds or whatever of internal testing and 2 closed servers, and you realize this mere hours before the raid goes live. You're fucking full of shit. Period. Discuss.
Yeah, I think somebody higher up told the game people that you can't let this go forward. You have to, quote, fix, unquote, this issue. because otherwise there really isn't any explanation for it. The people who needed to see whether or not it was broke were present in the test servers watching players execute the targets live. They knew Monday what was going on. They didn't have to wait till Wednesday night late after everybody had already coined, those who were going to coin, had already coined the changes over to what some of those players in the closed preview figured out. That's the part of this that gets me. If they'd have come out Monday night and said, this isn't going to work, don't make any changes till we figure it out, or here's your new the new normal, that's fine. But they gave people 2 days to spend coin on something that they knew they were going to change. And it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
And I tell you something else. I'm going to put this in real quick before Ross jumps in here and gives his thoughts. I tell you something else I'm getting real tired of is this tendency anymore to post really, really bad news right before they walk out the fucking door and then run away like a little girl, not to be seen till either the next day or on Monday because they post it right before the weekend. I'm getting really freaking sick of that shit.
Oh, by the way, here, screw you, and we'll see you on Monday. Nice weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that's just cowardice. That is pure, simple cowardice, in my opinion.
It's fraud. It's fraud.
But back to you, Ross, and your thoughts on the charged armor parts.
It's fraud. You can. I'm sorry, but I got to tell you, I'm not an uneducated person. Look up fraud. It's called fraud. That's what it is. And all I'm saying is, what you got to do to keep people happy is now you screwed up, Kixeye. You really screwed up. Actually, you're losing mass people, big coiners, including myself. And you're gonna have to throw us some bone. And how big of a bone? That's up to you. I guess how many people you want to keep in the game. Let's see the bone. That's what I have to say. I'm ready for it.
So, have you guys hit any targets in the raid whatsoever?
Yeah.
Yep.
I have.
I take it you've hit the have you hit the elite target? Yes, no.
Yeah.
No, I hit an 81.
Okay. I'll come back to you in a minute, lad. Ross, I'm going to get your opinion on those emitters that are in the elite target. You know, the ones that suck the life out of your charged armors when you get within range of them.
There's a group. There's one patch of them that it's like a vacuum, and they're bunched in I can't, with that hull you can't outrange them. So I don't do well. I don't know if anyone can outrange them. I could say I can't outrange them, and so it's just a vacuum. It's the health meter bar going woof. I mean, it is literally that quick too. It's just woof, gone. You like that?
And it's very interesting that a few things that are interesting about this. Number one, you notice we never got a look at that target in the preview server. Never.
No. Never.
Because they knew everybody, pretty much 90% of the people who were hitting this raid were going to have Buccaneers and were going to go for the top end Buccaneer target. So they intentionally did not put this target in with that mechanic so people would have no idea that it was going to happen.
I don't know about intentionally. I think they might have not had it ready. I don't know, but regardless, they didn't put it out there to see. And the other target did not do this to the.
Yeah, I personally, I think it was intentional. And then the reduction of the ballistic charged armors, and then adding those in on top of it. Boy, that was big, just old double middle finger at that point, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, I don't know, but it is bad. I still like the game. I try to think of positives to say. I really am. I'm not trying to drive people out of this game. These are my friends. This is the game I like. So, solution, I don't know. You know, solution looks like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I'm not trying to drive people out of this game either, but I'm not going to be one of those guys who says that I'm a voice for the players and I'm fighting for the players, but serving them lip service over a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
No,
I mean,
right? No,
quite frankly, this raid is a piece of shit.
no, I'm a paying customer. In all honesty, I'm not. I'm the same as everyone else. I pay to play this game, and I enjoy it. But I don't think it's like property that I own. It's I write it off as entertainment, but it's just not so entertaining to lose this kind of money, to have no value. So that's all I'm saying. So they need to change that for sure. I mean, that's it.
But, you know, I mean, I see Dan over there in chat saying he's autoing 80s for free, and that's great. You know, I can do the same thing. But point being, if I've spent the tokens, the time, and in some case for some people the money to have the top end tech for the Buccaneers for that fleet to be able to be done, I should be able to hit the top end target, not have to rely on autoing the second tier target. That's my personal opinion. Vlad, what's your take on things, Vlad?
I'm a little salty over these emitters, and by the way, the emitters exist in the 81.
Different kinds. Different kinds.
Well, it was enough to finish off my fleet, and I couldn't really outrange them. So yeah, there may be different kinds, but the concept is there, and I never saw anything like that in the preview. I thought it was odd that they were quite happy to allow us to stream the preview. Well, I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on and say, well, no shit, they wanted us to stream the preview because they were trying to get people to build for targets that were not going to be there when we got to the raid.
I'll say this: the 80s, the 81, the 83, and the 85, I really saw no difference between what I saw in the preview and what I saw in the live and what was out there today.
Well, all I know is that I don't remember these emitters being in the 81. Maybe I just missed it.
Yeah, I think you might have just missed it because they're those things that are dropped by those little drones that come out or whatever.
Yeah,
and I remember when I first saw those little drones come out, I was like, "What the hell?" They went and put boats in my freaking siege target, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, they don't actually shoot at you, and you can't shoot them." So I was okay with it then. But yeah, the little emitters in there are actually the ones I noticed right away are the ones with the red in there are the ones if you shoot them that does almost like a thorns damage type thing back to you. But the ones that we're talking about in the S target they have these big freaking huge circles, man. And as soon as you go inside of them, you see the charge on your armor go down quicker than a hooker on Main Street.
Yeah.
Easy, Trigger.
No, it's crazy.
Wow.
There's a group of 4 of them. I think I'm just going off memory. I'm not looking at the game right now. But there's a group of 4 of them even. And so you got like these 4 rings there. And, you know, I'm sure you can do a little tricky driving or whatever. But the first time I drove into it because those in the test server didn't do anything to your fleet. I mean, if they did, they did such minute damage. You're like, okay, just drive through and shoot. And my fleet melted. Well, my fleet of 2, because that's what I have. But I'm somebody. I'll throw my 2 ships at any target. I don't care what I want to test it. So I've tried them. I've tried them all, but I only have 2 ships.
Something else I thought was very interesting that after they went through and made all the adjustments to the charged armors, they did not go back and look at the targets again at all after they did that. GD Aerospecs actually came out and posted that after the adjustments in the armor was made, they did not look at the targets themselves at all after that. So I thought that was interesting.
That would lead me to believe that they looked at it before they made the charged armor, the changes. And again, I'm going to go back to, unless it is something that requires technical competence, there are no accidents. They knew exactly what they were doing when they did it.
What's that RB? You say compensation of 500K points is being given for each C1C armor that was fitted. That doesn't help.
Yeah.
That doesn't help me get. That doesn't help me get points that I should be getting legitimately anyway.
I have a player in Crow who has worked his butt off and hit those 120 Legion targets since they've come out. He has 24 hulls fitted with charged armor prior to the start of this event, prior to them nerfing the product he purchased and put on. 24 hulls. How'd you like to be him today?
Are you sure it's 24 hulls or just 24 pieces?
24 hulls.
That's not 24 pieces of charged armor equipped.
24 hulls. Done.
What did he build? What did he build 24 of, dude?
He put charged armor on his Zelos fleets. He has the full Buck fleet and the new Hydra fleet. No, it could be 24 armors, right?
Yeah, that would make a lot more sense as opposed to.
Okay, so you go 2 fleets and Zelos. So how many is that?
Yeah, that would probably roll in right about, because you figure 4, you figure 8.
Okay, 24 pieces. That would make more sense because I know how many fleets he actually has. So, yeah, but 24. Think of that.
That's 36 days just in build time. And with that, even if that compensation thing is correct, he'll be able to buy 1 whole charged armor with the 12 million points that they're going to compensate him for those 24 charged armors.
For a month of build time.
That's 36 days just in charged armor. Charged armor are approximately a day and a half a piece.
I will say this, that they did indeed succeed in their wanting to make it not a gap between people that didn't have charged armor and people that did, because you die just as quickly in that S target without charged armor as you do with. So congratulations, you fucked everybody.
I do know that people are having success with full fleets, and that's true, and they're doing okay, but for the most part, if you don't have the entire full fleet fully ranked, I don't see. Are you getting? Is anyone getting one even like the old ratio of 1 coin per million points?
Let me ask you this: you say people that have fleets are doing okay. What's your definition of okay? Because I have 4 that are pretty much mostly built and skull ranked, and I'm doing pretty damn far from okay, for my opinion.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have 4
of the chat. You know, if some people are able to do a couple campaigns for 6 coins, it still is not. It's above 1 coin a million, correct?
Yeah, well, 1 coin a million is an old saw. That 1 coin a million was fine when it only took 50 million points to do a raid. Now that it takes 500 million of points, even 1 coin a million is pretty expensive.
Right. No, I agree. That's what I was just trying to figure that out. And I think we're above the one coin per million even. And so, and the ratio is not what it used to be even. So it's a little skewed for me.
Oh, and Mike there in chat is saying that the damage on A sets has now actually gone up some. 3 times from the what it was at the start of the raid. I've only hit 1 A set, so I have no personal way to reference that. But I've talked to Mike a fair bit, and I never known him to feed me a bunch of crap. So
I'm just gonna plan. I'm just gonna finish. I only have the two complete. I have a fleet of 4. The Bucks, and I'm just going to keep working on those, and for the next month, I believe that there's not anything. I mean, I'm not going to be able to do very well in this event. I just am not going to be able to. I have 2 ships. I understand that. I'm not going to freak out. I'm going to working on that fleet, I guess, for the next event, and that's how I'm going to look at this. It's just not viable really for me to I'm someone who scores honestly over 400 million points every raid, 400 million. I have 16.
Yeah, I usually get anywhere between like anywhere, depending on the raid itself and how many points you need. I can get anywhere from between 3 to 600 million. Right now, I'm sitting at 6 because my stupid ass tried to hit the S target twice. Because going in there and dying and taking 6 hours of repairs wasn't enough for this guy. No, no, no. I had to go in a second time and see, well, what if I did this? Would that be any different? Or it's been 6 hours now. Have they changed anything? So yeah, I have like next to nothing in points. And if nothing changes, I'll stay at next to nothing in points because I am not spending one blessed red cent on this thing.
I killed off those S targets with 2 ships. I really did, but I had those repair tokens. I saved up fleet repair tokens, so I was just using those for fun. But I figured I tried to figure out the point ratio I could get the quickest with those things, and because I just used the tokens, so I tried to figure the best point wise was for me to hit the top target.
But I mean, I would never, ever, 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 ever call for the community as large to boycott the game or boycott the event. But what I will say is this: if you're very upset and you're not happy with the way this raid is going and the way things are progressing in the game currently, you have 2 ways to let Kixeye know how you feel about it. Number 1 is to post on the forums and be very vocal about how you feel. And number 2 is to speak with your wallet. And if you're one of those people who's not happy and wants to speak with your wallet, then you need to stick to that and not be like, oh, I'm not going to coin except for this $5 I'm going to spend to do this. I mean, we always hear people who say the community, even at large, sometimes is like, oh, we're not gonna coin because of this, we're not gonna coin because of that. But when it comes to the stick to and follow through, not so much a lot of times. So if you're gonna speak, then actually speak. But not that I'm telling you everybody. Not that I'm saying everybody go out and boycott the raid. Everybody go out and do this. I'm not telling you that because I wouldn't. I'm just saying that's how you feel and that's what you're going to do, then actually do it.
I have said for a long time, if you see value in spending coin, go ahead and spend coin. If you do not see value in spending the coin, then by all means, do not spend coin. And that's a decision for each player.
Right. That doesn't mean don't play either. You can still play, in all honesty.
You can get your 77,000 points and come back 5.5 hours later and get another 77,000 points.
And that's the truth. I was
gonna say, and for those people that can auto the 80s, for little to no damage, do it, man, do it. But if it's going to cost you your entire fleet to go in a S set, I myself am not going to go in there, lose my whole fleet, and then spend 12 or 13 or 14 or 97 or whatever, however many freaking coins it is to repair the damn thing. It's not going to fucking happen. So, but I mean, to me, it all comes back to there's so many people that were already on the border at the end of last year because of how horrible last year was, and they were using this first raid as a litmus test to see where they were going to progress from here. And I think there's going to be a whole lot of blowback from this unless something changes massively.
Oh, I would agree. I think it's not. I don't think they will see. I think it's already going on. I'm in a pretty active sector. There's there's probably 1 or 2 that were, are willing to coin the fleet, to the entire fleet for this event, and those people are above the rest, and the rest are just kicking back. They're doing the event, and I'm encouraging actually everyone to do the event. but do it what you can in real numbers. So I would like them to do it so the kick site actually gets real correct numbers when they see people, only able to in the level 90, 100, level hundreds, and they're hitting level 41 targets on the map, because that's what's doable to continually play power, and grind. Wow. I hope they see that.
I'd also be interested in some of those people that are doing extremely well. I'd be interested in knowing if there's any shenanigans going on there too. But that's just me and my tinfoil hat. I got a big tinfoil hat about some certain things sometimes. So
yeah, I kind of feel like there's some shenanigans going on there. The combination of somebody's figured out a way to get, shall we say, discounted coin, and is then using said quote discounted unquote coin to blitz. That's just kind of the way I feel about those people who are way up there on the leaderboard. Obviously, I have no proof one way or the other, and I'm sure that somebody in there spent some of their own hard-earned money to do that.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, it's weird because even if there is some kind of shenanigans going on up there at the top end, you would never know who it was. Because some people, I would guess, out of the people that are probably over 500 million points or whatever, I would without a doubt say there's a lot more people doing it correctly and people doing it the way they should be than there would be anybody with shenanigans. I would definitely say that.
That's true. There really are. There's some amazing people that even when you think to yourself, "Wow, what?" Yeah, it is actually going on. There are just people out there that I guess are having that much fun in this game to drop. I don't know that much, but people are still spending, not like they were, and I think that this raid will for sure set Kickstarter into a wake up. I'm hoping. That's my. So if I see anything come out of this good, I really do. There's some good into this to me. I sit back. I'm a PvP fan, and I don't like I don't like the prizes. The only reason I do not like the Hydra is because in the test server that I was able to work with in View, it was not able to be tested correctly due to the lag. So that I couldn't set a standard whether I liked the hull or not to decide on that hull. So I went with the Buccaneer. Well, they offer a Buccaneer lead ship that the only attribute is that it is a health transfer. There's no bonus other than that is not comparable to a regular Buccaneer. That seems a little odd to me, except for a 7-day longer build time on a hull. That's basically 7 days a week more build time, no attributes except for health transfer.
I'll be totally honest. After I started looking at the way the prize list was set up, I didn't even bother to look at what the prizes did.
Well, I can tell you that's what it is. I looked it up. It's exactly the same as bonuses as a regular Buccaneer, except for it has health transfer. So that would be the only time that a lead hull has been offered at this point price that does absolutely no bonuses other than health transfer. I think that it was a good idea when I first looked at the hull. Before I realized that I was going to make it a full anti-hull. That'd be possibly a good option. But then I looked at the build time and thought, well, that's ridiculous. If I do the total math on the thing for me, I'll save the week and the build time, and I'll just build an additional Buccaneer and get the same bonuses.
The one prize I did actually look over, which I was actually I thought they actually did get something right out of this whole entire raid fiasco. There was one thing that I thought they got right, was the new generalist. Yeah. I really like the way it is literally a generalist. It's not good at anything. It has the straight stats, defensive stats across the board for all the damage types. And then you change its role and what it does based on the CIC that you put on there.
I saw that.
that was something Shane had talked about for a long, long time about having, a straight general hull, and then you change its function by putting a CIC on it. I think for the generalists, what they're doing with that is great. The CICs for the other shit, I think, need to go away. I think the complications that we complained about that were in PvP, about how everything was getting so complicated with all these auras and all this and all this that, they have gotten rid of it in PvP and simply moved it over to PvE, in my personal opinion. I mean, these are stats that should have just been inherent on the boats in the first place and not make us take an extra 14 hours to put those stats on the hull. That's my personal opinion.
Well, there's been so many of us that have abandoned PvP play, and they just couldn't stand the idea that we didn't have to enjoy their new complication. So they forced it in PvE too.
I know personally, in my survey that I filled out for all that stuff, I'm like, what did you think of this CIC? Get rid of it. What did you think of this CIC? Get rid of it. What did you think of this CIC? Get rid of it. Will this CIC improve your fleet? No. I don't like them.
Yeah, neither do I. The whole concept is just, it's basically TAC modules that they're going to now have for all the hulls. Yay!
I'll try anything if it's of value, though. I mean, that's how I look at it. I'm just looking at it. Well, they're just adding more parts, and so they're adding more build time, and that's not adding more value to me. But I kind of like the ideas of that new Hydra. I don't think I saw some people have videos of their trial test server, and they did it. They had some success, but when you look at the success they had half a fleet of antis to me in a siege target. That's half a fleet of anti-missiles is strange for a siege target.
Yeah,
well, that's their new thing. And look at what they did to the FM. You can't really succeed now unless you're 40%. Two of your five ships.
But that's different because garrison targets, we've always needed antis in some form or fashion in the past. Not siege targets. Siege targets, we've never really needed antis before. And one of the things that really gets under my skin a little bit is they keep advertising this as counterable damages. Well, from what I've noticed and from what I saw occurring with lots of other people's fleets, it doesn't matter how many antis you have on, some of those rockets will still always get through. So you cannot call it counterable damage if some of them cannot be shot down at all. So, that's stop lying to me and saying it's counterable damage when there's some of them that just will not get shot down no matter what you do.
They're not lying to you. They're urinating on your shoe and telling you that it's raining.
No, when you tell me something that's not true, that is lying. Whether you want to admit it or not, that's what it is. So yes, I see you in chat, Caitlin. Why you're not on here, I'm not sure. I guess you're too good to join the rest of us this evening.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What else do you guys have you want to say? I mean, like, have at it, dude. I mean, don't get to the point where you're like being whiny, But I mean, if you got some solid facts that have made this raid crap that I've missed out on, feel free to bring them up.
No, I don't have any more. I mean, honest, it's just pretty. My issue isn't really the having to change the armor. It's even the targets are crappy. It's not even my ships aren't working and whatever. It's how you're handling yourself it's how you're handling the community. That's what I say. Poor job, and that's what keeps me happy. And
timing is everything, isn't it? Timing is everything.
Yeah, you gotta be. It is.
And to do the changes to that charge armor mere hours before the raid goes live, yeah, that was very poor timing. If you had any common sense at all, you should have just manned up, took it in the shorts for the first raid, and then, like, after that raid, be like, look, after looking back at it, we've now decided that it performed way too well in that raid, and you'll have some time to do any refits that you feel are appropriate. But it would have led to so much, I'm not going to say goodwill because people still would have been mad, but it would have been better will, at least, than what you're getting now if you had just manned up and took it the shorts for the first time.
Exactly.
And then said, going forward, this is what we're going to change.
And we screwed up, and this is what we have to offer you all. Here it is. I don't care what it is. Fairy dust. I don't care. Hey, because they create this stuff out of nothing, right? They can give us things on our screen out of nothingness, right? To make the community happy, and they choose not to. You got it. Okay. And if that's a choice, that's your choice to say, oh, by the way, we nerfed all your crap you just bought and worked on a month, and good luck tomorrow morning, and I won't be back till it started. Cheers. Yeah, you got to be kidding. That's what you're going to take it in the shorts for it, and I hope you do, for the way you act on being actually for that action. I hope it actually cost you dearly, so you don't do it again. That's how I feel.
Well, let me bring something else that happened in the game in the last month into this conversation. The change in the FM, specifically the reduction in the amount of build tokens. There are so many players who were just barely keeping up with tokens and time, and now that the tokens are gone, those players don't have, we're talking about a full fleet. I've got a fleet of 4 ranked bucks, but the builds are not done. And I couldn't get them done, and I wasn't going to coin them. And this is the first time I've gone into the next raid cycle where I knew the fleet was not very good. And I was like, why am I struggling? And it just dawned on me that the issue is they took away build tokens from us, but they certainly didn't adjust the build times on the hulls.
Well,
so go ahead.
Let me ask you guys this. Was it my imagination, or when the campaign for the Hydra first came out, were the tokens that were in those chests supposed to be siege tokens, and then they got switched at the last minute to Hydra tokens?
I don't know. I just know that the TLC was so difficult that there was no chance of me taking the damage that it was going to require to get a slot machine pull for
Right, and I understand that, but I'm saying it kind of feeds into what you're talking about a little bit, because if they had been straight siege silo tokens instead of Hydra tokens, for those people who could go through and get it, they would have been in a much better position than what they're in now.
And yes, and more importantly, if they wouldn't have put them in a chest where you had no idea what you were going to get and had no guarantees, if they had said, here, each of these mastery rounds is worth a 3-day build token. Well,
yeah, and I totally get that, but that's a thing we've gone over like 15 times, and I don't want to beat a dead horse.
Well, it says I only pointed out in the sense that because everything in this game is a cost-benefit analysis, and you can't really do a cost-benefit analysis on a slot machine chest. It changed the balance of tokens, because in previous raids, yes, we were guaranteed tokens in the TLC towards the build of one of the 2 fleets, sometimes both of them. Sometimes they were class builds as opposed to specific hulls. And I skipped the mastery level on the one with the Hydra entirely, because I wasn't going to take the amount of damage it was going to take for a slot machine pull. And that's another one of the ways in which the amount of token that we've been given was reduced. And I really feel like that may be the reason for me that I feel so helpless in this raid, is because I just wasn't able to do anything at all to get my fleets properly prepared, because clearly they expect your fleet to be done to be successful.
Yeah, one thing that I was thinking the other day is like, they are thinking, okay, we don't have to give as many tokens now because you have a whole extra month to build your fleet. What they're either not taking into consideration or too stupid to realize is you still have to get that first initial fleet out on the water by the first raid if you want to move forward.
Correct.
So that's something they might want to look at, and it's like, okay, well, if you want to cut down a little bit on tokens in month like 2, 3, and 4 of it, that's fine, but you still need to give us enough to get that first initial fleet done and out on the water by time for the first raid. To me, that's the key.
That would be a great. That would change my gameplay and my attitude on this. Just that alone, a little bit. Because I'd feel a little bit of adequacy. Honestly, I have 2 ships, and I just have I get the crappy lottery deal, and that's what I end up with. And they're built, they're sculled out. I have 4 complete skull, but I only have 2 done, and I have a 3rd, but it's just not done. And that's the exact progression I've used to all the tokens, and I have not coined them. But I've used everything I've won, and I do all the things on these, and I don't have a complete fleet. I don't have 4 even. So that's where I'm at.
It's very interesting to see everything that they've started to do and started changing since this show is going live too. Like, they started crediting people 500K for their charged armors. Apparently, they've raised the point payouts in the tier 5 and the tier 6. Apparently, they just came out with Buccaneer and Hydra tokens.
The Buccaneer and Hydra tokens were available when we went on the air.
Okay.
I don't know how much before we went on the air, but just before we went on the air, I logged in and there was the special offer on the Buccaneer and Hydra tokens. So that wasn't a very good offer.
Okay, because
I didn't think it was.
When I logged in, I thought I've seen like Eviscerator and Boulder Fist tokens or something on my special deals.
Oh.
But anyway, regardless. So, I mean, it's just interesting to see. Yeah, apparently they must be feeling the pinch to be going and making all these changes on day 1 even. Like, normally it's day 2 before they cave and be like, okay, we screwed up. But yeah, it's interesting to see that they're doing it on day 1. And something too that I've learned a lot in the past day, to be honest with you. I've learned a lot about what Kix responds to and what they don't respond to, what they get on right away and what they don't get on right away. And I've learned a lot about the people who act like they are a voice for the community and say they fight for the community, but when the time comes to do so, are quiet as a church mouse. So it's been a very interesting day or 2 for me. So I will just end it on this note and say, anybody out there who is participating in the raid, I wish you well. And for those of you who have decided that you're not going to spend any money on this raid, stick to your guns. And that's all I had to say in closing. You guys?
Yeah, I got a little bit of Vlad's rant.
It hasn't been the whole show.
But if I got a little bit left, as those of you who are watching have noticed, I've been playing with my my lower third a little bit throughout the.
Hey now, none of that on air, please. No playing with your lower third on air.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, buddy. Right now, it reads Vlad drives an Oldsmobile, and I also have a Goldwing. And let's be honest, classic cars and motorcycles are expensive and time-consuming hobbies. That is the hobby I have that goes along with playing Battle Pirates. And I can choose how I balance my entertainment budget. And I want to say this specifically to the folks at Kixeye. I have other places to spend my money. If you're going to make it a miserable and expensive experience, I know where I can have fun with my money. and I can have fun with my money in a 45-year-old Oldsmobile convertible or in a modern luxury touring motorcycle.
I can have fun.
Please consider this as you go forward. There you go. That's Vlad's rant.
I can have fun with mine at the strip club. I'm just saying. Ross, what do you got at the end?
I got to say, you know, I'm an alliance leader. I know we've got quite a few people. A lot of people are struggling, not only in my alliance, but in the whole game right now. And I do want to put it out there that hold strong. You'll be all right. You know, this is a game. You don't need to scrap your base. You don't need to quit. You don't need to do anything. Just relax. Nothing here in this event is going to hurt your health if you don't have. In all honesty, it's really not. You just continue working on what you got and doing the best you can, and hopefully we're better prepared for next month. That's just what I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as long as you have a good solid fleet by the end of the raid cycle that you can get the garrison hull for the next format going forward, that's all you really got to worry about.
Exactly. I mean, really, you don't have to be a superstar. We don't have to. I mean, we're the people that put our make it so we put our names in lights, you know, up there. We're the only ones that care, really. Kickside just cares about the dollar sign. So let's make the game about what we care about again, and so you just work on what you can and enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, don't do it.
That's good advice. If you don't enjoy it, don't do it.
Yep. So yeah, I guess I'll wrap it up for tonight, guys. Sorry it wasn't a normal typical show with no slides, no talking about raid prizes and all that kind of stuff. But I assume most of you are literate. At least that's how you got here. So you can go on the forums and check out the raid prizes and stuff. We just wanted to have a little bit of, you know, straight talk about what's going on and why this raid is not going well at all. You can see that Kix understands it's not going well at all by all the changes they started to make. Stick to your guns, and hopefully we'll see more changes incoming. Until next time, we will talk to you guys later. Look for us on Saturday for our roundtable when you guys can come on and tell us why you
just as much as we did.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Catch you
Happy
guys.
New Year.